Bookshelf Tour Part 2. Hi, how are you? So I'm recording this on Saturday. It is 99 degrees outside right now here in Oregon, and I don't want to turn on the air conditioner because that will cause noise during the recording. And so please forgive me if I sweat a lot during the recording of this. So last week I talked about some books that are on my shelves, and I only got through 2 shelves because there was so much to talk about. And I hope you enjoyed it. And I've got some more books to talk about and share information with you about. I'm going to try to get through 5 shelves today. We'll see how that goes, but here we go. All right. Being and Doing is an acting book that I found when I was in college, and it's written by Eric Morris, who's an acting teacher. And this book really came in handy for me because it taught me all kinds of relaxation techniques and how to be relaxed when you're acting and just kind of live in the moment. And I bought all of his books. And the reason I did is because I found my class, my theater class, in department, when I was going to the university, we took a trip to London for a month. And when we were in London, I went to this bookstore and I discovered his other book, Irreverent Acting. And I thought, oh, irreverent acting. I want to try to do irreverent acting because that sounded a little different. And I started reading it, and this is a fantastic book. And so I got that book and this book and all his other books. And anyway, if you're looking for a great acting book, I really suggest this one because it's a great start book because it'll teach you all how to relax and all kinds of stuff like that. Am I going to speak intelligently today? Probably not. It's so hot. I'm sweating already. The next book is Infinite Jest. Have I read this book? No. It's 1,079 pages. There's no way I'm going to read this book. I mean, I like to read books that are full of information. I like to read books that have stories, but I never get through them. You know, I read a little bit, then I get distracted and I underline stuff, but there's no way that I could read 100 or 1,079 pages. And I'm sure that I'm missing out on a really fantastic book, but I just kind of like having this on the shelf. Maybe someday I'll pull it down and read it. This will be a goal for the distant future. Then I have Scene and Structure and Story, and I have all these story writing books to help me learn how to write novels. Okay, this is a book, Europe, Hanging Out in Europe. And I was going to travel Europe. I was going to go on all the kinds of traveling adventures. And this book told you where the cool nightclubs were and all the bars and all the restaurants and all the cool places to hang out. And I never went and I never traveled the world. So I'm still hoping to do that. And I'm not sure this is still relevant. I think it was published in the 90s or early 2000s. But anyway, that's my goal, to travel one day. And so maybe I'll get to do that. This next book is by Whitney Cummings. It's called I'm Fine. And I love this cover. Whitney Cummings is a fantastic comedian. I love listening to her. She's got a great podcast. And this is one of those book covers that something I learned in photography school is they taught us that if you combine 2 things, you can create a third idea. So if you had a picture of someone's shoe and then an ice cream cone on top of the shoe, you would instantly tell a story of someone dropped an ice cream cone on their shoe. And it might elicit feelings of humor or, oh no. Whereas, so this is kind of like that. It's got her standing here and it's got the rising water. I'm fine. So it creates humor and suspense. And so this is 2 things combined that create a third idea. And that's just something I learned in photography school, and hopefully you find that interesting. But also, another thing about this book is that when I really like a comedian and they have a book, sometimes I buy it. And so Whitney Cummings, I have her book, and I have Eliza Schlesinger's book, and I have a Jerry Seinfeld book, and some other comedians, I bought their books. And so anyway, I'm a comedian book buyer. Anyway, this is really good. You might enjoy it. This is a book about San Francisco because I love San Francisco and it's got cool pictures in it. This is another one of Eric Morris's acting books. It's really great. No acting, please. That means don't act. Just be. Just live in the moment. Don't try to act. And so I really like that. Daisy Jones and the Six. People tell me it's really good, and so I bought it, and I just haven't gotten around to reading it. And I think it's a TV show now too, so eventually I'll read this. Another book on story writing and story structure. This huge book on strength training, I had a trainer years ago and he was reading this book and I thought, well, I should probably get it. It might help with my strength training. And I still haven't read anything in it, except I did look through it for my character in my novel Passion or Pancakes. When my character of Krista, I think in chapter 1, she was talking about, she's a physical trainer, and she was talking about, you know, cardiovascular whatever, and I wanted her to sound really smart, and so I did look through this book to find some smart information. But that's really the only time I've ever used this book. A Joseph Campbell companion. I talked about Joseph Campbell last week and how he sort of changed my life with all his myth education and helped me with story structure. Doing It by Hannah Witten. So I have some books by comedians, and I also have books by YouTube people that I really like. And so if Drew Gooden ever comes out with a book, I am totally going to buy it. If John Campea or Kate Witcher comes out with a book, I am totally going to buy it. And one of the other reasons I got this book is because in my novels, some of my characters are women in their 20s. And I found it helpful to buy books from YouTube people that are women in their 20s and comedians who are women in their 20s and 30s, so I can get their perspective on things, and hopefully I could write more authentically, sorry, and just write better from that perspective and just learn a different view. So anyway, there's this book. F. Scott Fitzgerald, I really like The Great Gatsby. And so I bought this because I wanted to read some other F. Scott Fitzgerald books. I haven't gotten around to reading it to it. I'm going to say that so much. There's so many books I haven't gotten around to reading, and I just haven't because I'm always busy doing stuff, writing and making videos and living life. So sometimes I read, and hopefully I'll get around to this one because I really want to read some more F. Scott Fitzgerald books. Under the Wide Starry Sky, I just like the book cover. Isn't this a fantastic book cover? That's why I bought it. And sometimes I just buy books because I like the cover. And hopefully I'll get around to reading this. Light of the Stars. I just like books about space, and space is just fascinating. And I want to learn more about space, and so I got this book. And the other thing is, see the bookmark? I'll explain that. So I really enjoyed having DVD by mail through Netflix. And when the Netflix envelope came, when you were done, you wanted to send it back, you would peel off this sticker from the envelope, and then you'd close it with the DVD inside and then mail it back to Netflix. But you had this left over. So what do you do with these? Well, I use them as bookmarks. And I probably have about 100 of these things just laying around, and I will never, ever run out of bookmarks. Anyway, that's just... if I can get it back in. Just a handy tip. Another F. Scott Fitzgerald book that I'll get around to. Sweet Bitter is another book that I bought just because I like the cover. I like wine, and this is a really dramatic book cover, and so I got it. And eventually I'll get around to reading this. Before there were Spark Notes, or whatever there is now, there were Cliff Notes, and they tell you about the story and summarize it so you don't have to read the entire book. And so I would buy these when I was in college because they really helped me understand what the heck I was reading, because some sides I didn't know, especially with Shakespeare stuff. You gotta read the Cliff Notes and find out what it actually is trying to say. Otherwise I would not know, because Shakespeare is so confusing. So anyway, I have a lot of Cliff Notes laying around. Another book on creative writing that I haven't read, a Virginia Woolf book, because it's a classic and I thought I should have it. A book by Mindy Kaling. Is everyone hanging out without me? I haven't gotten to it yet, but I hope to. Weird Oregon. These are all the places that are weird that are in Oregon, and I hope to get to them. You know, I've lived in Oregon for so long, but there's so much of Oregon that I haven't seen. I haven't been to Bend. I haven't been to Crater Lake. And, you know, I've been to the coast, but I haven't been to the entire coast. There's so many places in Oregon that I haven't seen, and so many weird things in Oregon that I haven't seen, that I would love to travel around to some of these weird places and just see them, you know? It talks a lot about weird stuff in Oregon, and I hope to get to them. Emily Dickinson is a fantastic writer, and hopefully I'll get around to reading her amazing writing. Devil Wears Prada. I got this because I love the movie Devil Wears Prada, and I'm so happy that they're making a sequel. And it's great, and I love watching the behind-the-scenes making of the sequel from clips that are on Instagram, and it's really fun. And so I just wanted to read the book, and I've read part of it, and man, I can't wait till the sequel comes out. An Artist's Way, pretty much anybody who's an artist has to have this book, and so I have it. And I think I've used it, you know, writing at dawn or whatever you're supposed to do, exercises that are in this book, and I think I tried a few, but I really should probably go through this book and get some more inspiration on how to write. Your Mythic Journey. Your Mythic Journey is a fun book that really helped me when I was trying to learn mythology and all the points of along the hero's journey that Joseph Campbell talks about. And I also tried to use toilet paper as a bookmark, and I'm not sure it worked out too good. So I think the little strips from the Netflix DVDs are better than using toilet paper as a bookmark. Uncorking a Lie by Nadine Netman. It's another book that has to do with wine and mysteries. And the reason I got this book is because, like I talked about last week, when I talked about Marla Cooper's book, Dying on the Vine, and they were both giving a talk together at Books Inc. on Chestnut Street in the Marina in 2017, 2018. And I was down there and I listened to them talk, and they both gave me encouragement to write my book. And so I bought both of their books, and I hope they're great wherever they are, and thank you very much for your encouragement. On Dublin Street is one of those spicy books that I bought just because I was writing romance, and I thought I should probably read some books like, you know, spicy romance books, so I know how to write those and what I'm talking about. And so anyway, I have this, and I only read part of it. So, but then I get inspired and I want to write my own stuff, and so this is why I can't read books all the way through, is that I get inspired. Oh, I could write something that's kind of close to that, or, you know, one sentence can send me into just a day-long creativity. So anyway, there's this. A book analyzing The Great Gatsby called So We Read On. Twilight, because everybody has it, and so I had to have it too. Why I Read. My character of Bren in the next book, in the next novel that's coming out, hopefully in the fall of this year. My character of Bren loves books, and so I decided to get this book to really understand why people read books and what do they love about books. And so I did read some of this, and it helped. The Wall Street Journal Complete Personal Finance Guidebook. I have not read this, and I probably should, because I know nothing about money, and I should probably know some stuff about money, so I should probably read this. Here's another Wall Street money book. I should probably read this too. An Abundance of Catherines by John Green. I don't know why I bought this book, but I have it because, Fault in the Stars. Yeah, everybody's reading Fault in the Stars, so I figured, well, I should probably get his other books too. I'll get to it eventually. This looks like a spicy book from Victoria Dahl called Looking for Trouble, and I haven't read this one, but it looks fun. Dorothy Parker, everybody's telling me, you know, Dorothy Parker is such an amazing writer, and so I got her, you know, her portable Dorothy Parker book that's got like basically everything she's ever written, and so I'll get around to it sometime. Nerve centers and pressure points. I really wanted to learn martial arts at some point, and I keep talking about all these things that I'm going to do and books I'm going to read. God, I know I've done something with my life. But yet I have all these things that I haven't done yet, and I'll get to them eventually, I hope. So if I ever do martial arts, I'll probably read this book. The Brothers Grimm 101 Fairy Tales and Hans Christian Andersen's Tales. I got it because, you know, I'm a writer, and these just seemed like books a writer should have, and so I got them. And, you know, we've probably heard all of these stories already, but I really would like to go back and read some of these and hopefully get inspired. Time Traveler's Wife. Everyone said this is a good book, so I bought this book. Treasure Island. This is a really cool book, and immediately when you start reading it, it takes you into that world of the Treasure Island pirates and all kinds, just instantly, and the way they talk and the way it's written, you're just instantly into that world. And so that's what I like about this book. And, you know, it doesn't have its book cover, and that's another thing, is I kind of find dust covers annoying, and so I take off the dust covers, and I have a whole cupboard full of dust covers. That are not on the books. They're just there because, you know, I don't want to have to fumble around with the dust cover, and so I take them off and I just leave the actual book on the shelf. But anyway, Treasure Island is really cool. This is another book without the dust cover, Signs and Symbols, just because I was studying mythology and I wanted to know about signs and symbols. The Everything Guide to Writing Your First Novel. This book helped me write my first novel because it's got like some of the basic things that you just gotta know. And I'll tell you one of the most helpful books as a writer to have, and that is John Truby's The Anatomy of Story. This book saved my life. So I was writing Passion or Pancakes, and I got stuck and I didn't understand why my story wasn't working, and then something I read in this book reminded me that when the character enters Act 2, they have to be doing something that they've never done before. It's like when Joseph Campbell talks about the hero's journey, and in the second act, they go into the forest, a forest that they've never been. It's a mysterious place, it's unknown, and this is where they learn new things. And I was not having my character do something that she hadn't done before. And so this book reminded me that I needed her to do something completely different in Act 2 than she's ever done. And without reading this, I remember I was having my car worked on, and I was reading this in the lobby of the auto mechanic place, and I came across that point. It was like, oh yes, that's why. And as soon as I figured that out, the rest of the novel worked, because I needed to have my character do something she'd never done before. So anyway, this is a really good book. If you want a fantastic, helpful writing book, John Truby's Anatomy of Story is really fantastic. The Guys We Effed podcast. All right, so here's another book that I got from comedians that I enjoy listening to. Corinne Fisher and Christina Hutchinson are hilarious. They're fantastic. They're brilliant, and I love listening to their podcast, and so I just had to buy their book. Effed. Anyway, this is a really fun book, so if you want to get that, I recommend it. Lord Byron, that just seems like something a writer should have. Lord Byron wrote a lot of poems and stuff, and so, the whole Mary Shelley thing, going to Byron's place and hanging out, and the whole ghost story night where they told ghost stories, and then she came up with Frankenstein, and so I just had to get Lord Byron's book, so I just understood a little bit more about what he was writing, and so I could just because that's a fantastic story of them hanging out at the Villa Diodati in Switzerland, I think, and that they having that ghost story contest, and both the vampire Dracula story and the Frankenstein story came out of that cold weekend that they spent together having the ghost story contest. And so I just had to get some Byron to know a little bit more about that. Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. This sounds really fantastic, and I don't remember who recommended it to me or what I read that said it was really great, but I got it, and I look forward to reading it, and I'll read it sometime, and I'm sure I'll enjoy it. And the last book today is Catch-22 by Joseph Heller. Catch-22 is a book I got because some people were telling me, you'll love it, it's great. And so I got it. And also I got it because my favorite number is 22. And the reason is because my favorite movie is Casablanca with Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bergman. And in the scene where Rick, played by Humphrey Bogart, that's a terrible impression. Anyway, there's a scene where Rick transforms from a person who is indifferent about everything and everyone into a person who cares about people. And he does that because he helps a couple win at roulette at his casino so they can get visas so they can get out of Casablanca. And he says, put all your chips on 22. And he has the person put all their chips on 22 to help them win. And so the roulette guy goes, 22! And, it's my favorite movie, and that's the number that sticks out, and that's the moment where Humphrey Bogart basically becomes a hero and starts helping people. So it's just kind of a significant number. And also, so I started putting the number 22 secretly in some of my novels. So, well, I've only published one, but I've got it in the next one too. So I secretly put the number 22, like my novel takes place on June 22nd, 2013. And when they do karaoke in chapter 8, they sing Taylor Swift's 22. And then I kind of sprinkle 22 throughout the novel and some other place, just kind of a fun Easter egg, the way Taylor Swift puts codes in her stuff. So anyway, there's that. So anyway, that's today's book tour. I hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble on about books that are on my shelves. I really enjoy this topic because, with each one of these books, it just reminds me of a past memory or some information that I have fun sharing with you. And so this is a really great topic to talk about is, books books on the shelves. And anyway, I hope you enjoy hearing about it. This is a great topic, so thank you for suggesting it. And I think I'll do some more book tours later on, and I'll do other videos too, but then I'll kind of sprinkle in some more book tours, and I hope you enjoy it. Please let me know in the comments if you enjoy it, or if you want to know any more information about the books I've showed you, or information about other stuff. Please let me know what you want me to talk about. I really appreciate it. So, have a fantastic week, and I will see you next week with a completely different video. Have a great week.